Before we get into the video, I need to say that this is a re-upload from earlier today, and I super apologize, but the Olympics is trying to censor the contents within this video, and it would be super unfortunate for the Olympics if this video were to somehow go viral. You will see exactly where this part got censored. I do make an announcement in the middle of the video, so just carry on and please like and share as if it were the first time this video was uploaded. I know every time something like this happens, everyone pretty much jumps to conclusions and says, this is going to be the most insane time in our history. And what we're experiencing right now with the Olympics might actually be the most insane time in our recent history for Olympic Games, given everything that has been going on in the world recently and the built up tension over the past 8 years, especially the past like 4 or 5 years of the whole coup and this ongoing conflict in the Middle East. And what does that mean? How does that translate to Olympic athletes? And then the whole backlash of what happened with the Olympic opening ceremony and the attack on Christianity. There's a lot to cover in this video. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I do want to encourage everyone to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't yet already. It does really help grow the channel. I just want to thank all the new people that have joined from the last video about the the opening ceremony for the Olympics and the backlash. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks for all the new members. And we got to talk about how we're going to protect ourselves because shit is about to hit the fan. And well, in real life, there's definitely ways to protect yourself, but we're going to focus on how to do that online. And the best way to do that I know is private internet access, who just so happens to be today's sponsor. I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Private Internet Access. We have teamed up and we are offering my audience 83% off by using code SUNSHINE, which can be linked down in the description or the pinned comment below. We're living in a world of censorship, and Justin Trudeau is at the forefront of this race. Canadians are being censored left, right, and center, which is why you have to protect yourself with a VPN, such as Private Internet Access. What a VPN does is it encrypts your information so that while you're browsing online, you're going to different websites, your information, your personal data is not shared with these massive corporations. It's almost like putting a cloak over yourself. And the best possible way that I like going about this is using the cloak such as Private Internet Access. Even when it comes to getting the news here in Canada, there's an insane level of censorship. You can't even get Canadian news on Facebook, for crying out loud. Above and beyond the news, if you want to get different content on streaming platforms such as Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, because a lot of these corporations, they geo-lock content, such as in Canada, you can only watch Canadian Netflix. But with private internet access, you can bypass that and you can watch American Netflix, UK Netflix. It's really an interesting thing, and it unlocks a whole new world of content out there. The best part about it is that you're not just restricted to doing that from a computer or a tablet. You can do that from your phone, and you can have a whole lot of devices linked to your private internet access account, which is incredible. Private internet access is not only user-friendly, it's extremely affordable, and it is the best way of saying F you to the government. You can get 83% off of private internet access by using the link down in the description or the pinned comment below. Thank you, Private Internet Access, for sponsoring today's video. All right, so there is a lot to cover in this video. First, I want to touch on some Canadian news because this is a Canadian channel and I am Canadian. Wildfires just blasted through Jasper National Park, one of the most beautiful places in Canada, and we do have an update on what the damage, what the aftermath looks like. So before we get into the Olympic stuff, I just want to talk about what's going on with our parks.
Temperatures, but it is expected to become more active with the weather warming up over the next few days. The fire size now has been revised to about 32,000 hectares. This makes it the largest wildfire in Jasper National Park in more than 100 years. Firefighters continue to patrol for any fire activity. An infrared scan at the town was done overnight. Parks Canada has also requested some night vision helicopters from Alberta Wildfire, but this just shows the amount of work that isn't going to stop anytime soon.
Currently, we're going to be working on this wildfire, we expect, over the next 3 months at least.
The town has also released a map of the damaged structures within town, and 30% of structures have been destroyed, red indicating total destruction, yellow meaning partial damage, and green signifying no visible damage. Evacuees will not be allowed to head into Jasper anytime soon.
This time it is not possible for residents to return to Jasper, to view their property or collect their belongings. The town site is not safe. We are still very early in our recovery process.
Resources are available all across Hinton for evacuees and for first responders, and the community is really stepping up in a time where it is needed and they are looking for that support. There is some breakfasts that are expected to be held here in Hinton today for first responders and evacuees so they can all gather and have a nice meal together. We just know that everyone is helping out each other, and evacuees say they're going to be there for them, other evacuees as well.
Absolutely devastating what has happened, but massive congratulations and shout out to essentially all of the first responders for taking pretty much putting their life on the line to save this park. Like, this fire was so big and so fast moving that there was a point where it was pretty much voluntary, from my understanding, for the firefighters to go into the town once everyone, including police and medics and stuff like that, had to evacuate because they didn't have self-contained respirators and things like that. And the firefighters chose to go back in, turn as many sprinklers on as they could, and save a good amount of the actual town site. So very well done, everybody involved. And I hope that in the future, this is a big wake-up call for the government to actually have the right resources readily available come fire season, which, I mean, it's on a calendar. Once the snow melts, until the snow falls again, we're at risk of these things happening in Canada. So there you go. There's the update, everybody. Now we're getting into the Olympics, which is just spiraling out of control. Sponsors are dropping left, right, and center. There is a lot of tension with the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. You got Palestinian protesters that are kind of taking over. You got Palestinian athletes that are refusing to shake hands with Israeli athletes, and it's going into a very spirally direction, and I don't think it's going to get better anytime soon. So let's take a look at some of these articles here. Palestine Olympic chief: no handshakes with Israelis unless they recognize the state. This is really going on, and you're seeing this happen actually with the athletes, where Israeli athletes are putting their hands out to shake the athletes. Politics put aside, they're there to just do the sport. And nope, they are not complying. They refuse to shake anyone's hands. And this actually bled out of the Olympics. And there was a massive UFC last night on Saturday. And Dana White actually got confronted because for the first time in maybe, I think ever, for my people in Palestine fighting the real fight, Belal Muhammad is the first Palestinian to win a UFC title. And of course, he won that and had a Palestinian flag in the ring, which is, I guess, a normal thing. Like, if there was a Canadian fighter, George St. Pierre, he would have a Canadian flag in there. If there was an American fighter, he'd have an American flag. But for some reason, the Palestinian flag in the ring became super controversial. And Dana White, president, owner, CEO, whatever you want to call him, of the UFC, was asked, what do you think about this? And Dana does not mess around when it comes to this stuff. He doesn't really put up with reporters. It's very awesome. And I think we need more of this. Let's take a look at what he had to say immediately when he was asked about, what do you have to say about the Palestinian flag in the ring or octagon?
Oh, Palestine flag, and somebody said take it down? Who said take it down?
I don't know who it was, but it looked like it was someone from the UFC. There was like two people just like telling them to don't put it on the fence.
Looked like there were people from UFC? Were they wearing fucking UFC hats or
no, I mean
name tags?
Otherwise, I wouldn't have been right at the octagon.
I have no idea.
But there's no like new flag policy thing because of anything.
I have no idea. I get what you're trying to do, but I have no idea.
I was just wondering because
yeah. I know what you're trying to do.
That's pretty awesome. He doesn't want to give him any more time. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get the clickbait. You're trying to get the sound bites, and it's just not going to work. So good job, Dana. When it comes to sports, it's supposed to be politics aside, and the athletes are supposed to compete. Yet politics is still being weaponized, even in sports, even in the UFC, but more importantly, on this massive global stage of the Olympics, which seems to be the whole message of that is we're going to ruin the Olympics by doing that. But I think the Olympics are already kind of ruined, right? There's been so much tension over the past several years, not with the war conflicts, but with the coup and how that impacted the last Olympics. And everyone's been waiting for a fresh start for the Olympics, right? Maybe not you personally, but the world, countries, athletes, right, that have dedicated their entire lives to crafting the best of their ability at their sport, making it on the most top tier stage, the Olympics. And it's already just massively a shit show, with the opening ceremony being an attack, a very open attack on Christians with no accountability. Now we're seeing sponsors pull out, and it's all downhill from here. So Paris Olympics offer a reset for sponsors after years of troubled games. This was supposed to be the Olympics to unite the world after everything the world has gone through collectively with the coup, how it just went through the entire world. Everyone is so fed up. Everyone is so burnt out. We're just supposed to focus on sports, and we can't even do that. We can't even do that. And never mind the conflict between the different countries. Never mind all of the other drama that's happening. You actually have teams that are cheating. And the center of that attention is Canadian teams, of all teams, specifically women's soccer. So FIFA has deducted 6 points from Canada in the Paris Olympics women's soccer tournament and imposed a $250,000 fine and banned 3 coaches for 1 year each on Sunday in a drone spying scandal. You can't even make this up. This is as serious as it gets. Let's take a quick look here at this article, or this video.
FIFA is taking action against Canada's women's soccer team. But before that happened, the team spoke for the first time after their head coach was suspended amid a drone spying scandal. Here's what interim head coach Andy Spence had to say.
What's transpired is very, very unfortunate, and I think from that end it doesn't align to the values of Canada, it doesn't align to the values of myself, and I'm took no party to it. So I think the key bit is there's an investigation, there's a review going to be happening, and I think the best thing I can do in these moments is allow that review to happen, give that time for that review to happen properly and considered, and then really put my focus on what I think I do best anyway, which is work with players, work with staff for us to collectively move forward. And what I would say is I'm very fortunate we've got such a great group of staff who are helping me to lead, and an incredible group of players, as you know better than me, that are just desperate to do well for this country.
It is so embarrassing. That is so embarrassing. Canada, first of all, we're not really known for soccer. So when you stack up Canadian soccer teams versus the rest of the world, doesn't matter which gender you're comparing, whether it's men's soccer or women's soccer, we're just not that high ranking, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like there's so many other countries that are way better at soccer than Canada. So for the women's soccer coaches to use a drone to spy, to see formations of other teams, it's just very bizarre and also unlike Canada to ever really do that. And it's very out of character. And also, I don't think we've heard from Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, on this. And I doubt that we even will. And why? There's so many other things going on. Why bring more bad news to Canada? Why the hell would they ever consider doing that? I'd love to know what you guys think down below in the comments. But a lot of people are boycotting the Olympics anyways, which is something we're going to get into in a few moments here. So the Olympic Games official X account said, "We're buzzing from last night. What was your favorite moment?" And you're having posts like this go absolutely viral. "You forgot the part where you insulted 2.4 billion Christians by recreating the Last Supper with a fat woman and transgenders." And the Olympic Games has actually come out and they've acknowledged this as a wrongdoing. Almost. So here it is. Justin, the Paris Olympics organizer, issue apology after they mocked Christianity during their opening ceremony. Organizers say they are really sorry if they offended anyone, saying there was never an intention of offending Christians. Yeah, that's just hard to believe. Clearly, there was never an intention to show disrespect to any religious group. The opening ceremony tried to celebrate community tolerance. Oh my God. We believe this ambition was achieved. If people have taken any offense, we are really sorry. We're not sorry for doing it. We're sorry to those who are offended. That just seems like a piss poor apology. The apology is hard to believe considering the self-prescribed obese Jewish queer lesbian who played Jesus labeled the performance the New Gay Testament on Instagram. Oh my God, it just gets worse and worse. I need to interject the video because there's been a lot of rumors circulating that the Olympics is going around and censoring and copywriting people left, right, and center. And this is absolutely true. So they're in the original version of this video, which got tens of thousands of views immediately. It's since been censored and I've had to make some changes, and the original video is picking up steam, but ultimately I made the decision to pull it, and we're just going to show a freeze frame of the clip. You may have seen it on X, but apparently you can't see it here on YouTube. This is what it looks like when YouTube censors people. It's absolutely insane. So as you can see, the video was picking up a lot of steam, and then it just drops off the map, right? Just like that, getting 300-400 views a minute, and then it gets censored, right? And that's kind of the state of the Olympics. So I don't know what to say about this, but this is the amended version of this video, likely re-uploaded, and thank you for your understanding. Let's continue on. So this whole thing, it just reeks. It reeks, and it's leaving a bad taste in everyone's mouth. And it's having massive repercussions. So their half-ass apology of, we're sorry if you were offended. To those who were offended, we apologize. Not, we realize that this was a lapse of judgment and we take full accountability. But if you were apologized, we are sorry. Now, look, I'm not a Hallmark card writer, but I feel like that could have been written a little bit better. And it's just having negative impacts and leaving a sour taste in everyone's mouth. And then you have weird things like this that come out. Olympics pre-race triathlon event in the river has canceled over water quality concerns, which is kind of funny. Can Paris fix its poop problem before the Olympics? So apparently this has been an issue with how they drain their sewers into the rivers, and it's so bad that they're canceling events that are involving outdoor water, which is embarrassing. Like, you had so much time to prepare for these Olympics, and this is how you treat it. You not only offend 2.4 billion people around the world to the point where sponsors are pulling out, to the point where you have more people boycotting these Olympic Games than we've ever seen in recent history, but also your actual infrastructure isn't set up properly to accommodate the athletes that have trained their entire lives. All of the money that has been injected into the Olympics vis-a-vis all of the countries that are involved, it costs us taxpayers quite a bit of money to send our Canadian athletes there, for the coaches to sabotage it with drones. And every other country that has had, athletes for these events, such as the river events, it's all a waste because of poop. Imagine that. All right. So we have another one here. The Paris Olympics organizers say they meant no disrespect with the Last Supper, which again is just very bizarre. And when you read these articles, it's all about how they didn't mean it. They didn't mean it for it to be offensive. Clearly, there was never an intention to show the disrespect of any religious group. Look, that's just, how stupid are you? And how stupid do you think people are? That doesn't make any sense. You recreated the Last Supper with a bunch of transgenders in a large a big boned lady as the center who was supposed to be Jesus, who's also queer, which is just, a child could have been like, yeah, I don't think that that's really a good idea. But no, somehow the Olympic organizers thought that's a good idea. What's the worst that could happen? Well, they're about to find out, because they're experiencing levels of boycotting, which is possibly going to reach, maybe even surpass, the boycotting of Bud Light. On the contrary, I think with Thomas Jolly, we really did try to celebrate community tolerance, and they're just doubling down. Looking at the results of the polls that we shared, we believe that this ambition was achieved. If people have taken any offense, we are, of course, really, really sorry. Again, that's just such a weird way to apologize. If you have taken offense, we apologize. We don't apologize for offending you. If you've taken offense, we apologize. And now you're having these companies drop out as sponsors, right? So you got this guy right here on X. Corey Robbins says, I voted yes to pull advertising for Olympics in the boardroom today. It passed unanimously. A fairly large investment will instead be made advertising on the X platform. And who is this guy, right? Like anyone could write a post like that. Well, let's take a look. I didn't realize that I'd be attacked for my post, nor did I intend for it to be viewed so much, because it did get viewed 1.7 million times. I do invest in small to medium-sized businesses. I love supporting innovation where I can. I am not a billionaire. I am fortunate to have a simple yet fruitful life. And then you do have larger companies that are pulling out. So this right here is the Express news outlet in the UK. Olympics backlash escalates as major sponsors pull out of the events, right? And it's just spiraling, and more companies are pulling out. Tech companies, this is Fox Business News. Tech companies pull Olympic advertising after opening ceremony display many deemed to be anti-Christian. Mississippi-based C Spire pulled its advertising after being shocked by the mockery of the Last Supper during the 2024 Olympic opening ceremony. And that's not the only person or the only company to criticize. You also have, I don't know, one of the world's most rich and famous people, Elon Musk himself, has been caught unfollowing the Olympics on his own app X after controversial Last Supper parody, which is insane because there's reason to believe that Elon was even there. The Olympics laser show was amazing. He shared some footage. Maybe he was there, maybe he wasn't, but nonetheless, he did praise the laser show. And then it was also caught that he was unfollowing the Olympics after what had happened. And then Caitlyn Jenner also had this to say about the opening ceremony. Absolutely not. A disgusting display of mockery of one of the most holy and sacred images of our Christian faith. And everybody is jumping on this train going, hey man, this isn't okay. What they've done is just insane. This isn't good at all. And you're seeing more and more people boycott the Olympics. More and more sponsors are pulling out. More and more famous people are speaking up about this. Do you remember about 10 years ago? Somebody in Paris made a cartoon drawing of Muhammad. Just a cartoon drawing, like a street artist made a cartoon drawing. And then there was a bit of an attack in Paris that involved guns. So you criticize one religion but with a cartoon drawing, and there's gunfire and people die. Yet during the Olympic ceremony, the opening ceremony, it's a clear attack on Christians, not a cartoon drawing. It's a full theatrical performance with money that was invested, rehearsals, people were hired. That opening ceremony probably cost millions, hundreds of millions of dollars to produce. And there's no gunfire. Obviously not. Like, that's not I've ever advocated for. That is not, like, that's not good. I do not condone that, nor do most people, right? But it's just insane. It's like double standards. You can criticize one in the most distasteful way, and there's no repercussions. There's no accountability, right? And then someone 10 years ago did a cartoon drawing of Muhammad in Paris or in France, and there was blood in the streets. Very, very weird. And I just don't understand this blatant attack on Christians. I don't get it. I don't like it. I think a lot of people don't like it. And I think it's actually pushing a lot of people to become religious vis-a-vis Christianity, because it's like, hey, whoa, why are you attacking it? I was raised a Christian. I don't go to church right now, but I've been thinking about taking my family. I would like my children to be raised with good values. And when I see shit like this happen, it makes me question, what the hell is going on? Why do I feel like I'm being attacked, or my beliefs or my previous beliefs or these beliefs that I was raised are being attacked for no good reason other than just being attacked? It's vulgar, it's disgusting, and it's got to stop. And more people are talking about it, which is good. So I'd love to know what you guys think down below in the comments. Is this a blatant attack on Christianity? Let me know what you guys think down below. That's where we're going to end this video, folks. On your way out, I would like to encourage you guys to smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you in the next one. Bye for now.